When you have 6 kids, they entertain themselves a lot. Partly, it's a matter of necessity. There's no way we would have the time to take all of them to individual activities or travel sports. We grew up just running around the neighborhood. My friend Mike and I would wander for hours. My buddies and I, we would just ride our bikes all over town, and our parents didn't have to know where we were. I want that for our kids, but the world just isn't set up to make that easy. There aren't sidewalks in a lot of places. There aren't many playgrounds near our house, and there aren't enough other kids just running around. It's not normal anymore to just set your kids free. Back in our day, most of my friends were just told by mom or dad, come home when the streetlights come on. Americans are having fewer and fewer kids every year. Politicians and commentators assume it's just about cost, or just about the millennials or Gen Zers being selfish. These are factors, but they don't tell the whole story. The cost of raising children hasn't gone up that much, and millennials aren't poorer than Generation X was. I also don't believe that the younger generations are more selfish. Selfishness is part of the human condition, but we need to take seriously the feeling that parenting has gotten harder. The data shows something intriguing when you compare today's parents to parents back in the 1970s. Today's mothers work outside of the home much more than their grandmothers did. Today's fathers spend much more time on parenting tasks than our grandfathers did. Yet still, today's mothers spend 50% more time on parenting than their grandmothers did. And this is all while families have fewer kids. Mom and dad are exhausted because they never get a break. They're constantly supervising their children and driving them to and from scheduled activities. Childhood anxiety and depression are on the rise. The chief problem? Kids these days have less independent play, less freedom to roam, and too much control by parents. What kids need is less structure and more exploration. They need less hand-holding, less travel sports. They need more wandering and more pickup sports. For folks my generation, pickup basketball, stickball, riding our bikes all day and night all summer long were just more common, more normal. What's changed and why? Mostly, it's our culture that has changed. These days, parents need to be countercultural if they want to avoid maximum effort parenting. Youth sports has gone nuts. Low-stakes recreational leagues are withering in towns across America, and parents are told that if little Davy wants a shot at making JV, he'd better play travel ball 10 months out of the year. Our world is just more hostile to letting kids wander. Crime is a problem in many places. Since 2020, many counties and cities have seen a serious rebound in crime. It's hard to let your kid wander freely if there are drug deals, shootings, and muggings going on. But still, crime is lower in 2024 than it was in the 1980s and 90s. The feeling that it's not okay anymore to let your kids run around is mostly about misguided cultural expectations and norms. Parents are afraid of being judged if they let their kids off the leash. But it's not just about perceptions and norms. A lot of America simply isn't built for kids to run around. Look at my own neighborhood. This is a very nice suburb, but on many blocks, there aren't sidewalks. For my daughters to walk to school or my boys to walk to the basketball court, they have to cross the same street twice because there's no sidewalk in front of our house. And like many suburbs, this town was built for cars more than for people. Drivers go way too fast and blow through the stop signs. And there's a terrible, vicious circle here. As the culture becomes more car-centric, every family becomes more car-dependent. That means kids become more mom and dad dependent. Their activities, their school, their playdates, their social lives, their free time, their jobs, they all require mom or dad driving them around. And if the kids try to walk, they're dashing across lanes of traffic. In my old neighborhood, the roads were 6 lanes wide. We couldn't let our younger kids go anywhere, even to the grocery store that we could see from our house. And if your neighbors are all going from an attached garage to a distant shopping center, then everyone is isolated from their neighbors. That means fewer kids running or biking the neighborhood, which makes it harder for parents who want to just unleash their kids on the neighborhood. Our parents were onto something when they let us run free, when they didn't schedule our every minute, when they told us to roam as we wished, but come home when the streetlights turned on. For the sanity of today's children and parents, we need to regain that mindset, rebuild neighborhoods, and reshape our culture in a way that makes it easier for parents to let their kids go free.